Well. It is that time once again, ladies and gentlemen, where we return to Champions League football. More European nights underneath the stars, and we've got a bunch of cracking fixtures to go over today. Welcome back. I'm your boy, Ethan from EA Football. That intro sounded very weird, because it really doesn't matter. Today I'm outside again. I've decided to embrace the sun, take in some natural light. There we go. That's a good picture. We're just gonna have to see where this goes. I mean, it's gonna be a few interesting couple of days in the next few weeks, because we've got some big matches to take over. I decided to go outside again because Manchester United yesterday, that match was terrible. So I've decided to give myself a bit of intuition, a bit of respect, and a break, because I am very tired of watching Manchester United shite the bed. And yes, I know we're sitting our best players, and I know that we're not doing really much, but I don't know, that it just doesn't feel right, you know, us losing all these matches and stuff. So I've decided to just take a break, relax, sit down by a tree, and enjoy my nice little stay outside. You could say this is a vlog, but it's not really. I'm just outside enjoying myself. I used to sit over there for the last one I did outside, but I've decided to change things up. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to go over the next few following fixtures because they're very nice. So let's begin. We've got a Champions League match between Arsenal and PSG. PSG won the first leg, 1-0. This is a bit of a tough one, honestly. This could go either way. I think I'm rather gonna lean to, I know my previous prediction was Arsenal. Lighting's terrible here. Hold on, go over here. There we go. My previous prediction was Arsenal winning, and I said it was going to be pretty much the defense that took care of business. That didn't age very well, did it? I'm just going to go with PSG winning this next one, and it's not going to be close. So, yeah, I'm going to go with PSG, and there's going to be a reason I shift this, because PSG has a much better team than Arsenal. I just realized that now. And there's a guy over there. There was a guy over there. There's more people walking by as well. I'm gonna move. I don't want to be weird, you know. I don't want to be weird. If I get seen doing weird things, so I just stand in the freaking playground. Yeah, there's a playground over here. Should I just go in there? I look very weird doing it. Yeah, why not? I'm in the playground. Hopefully there's a wasp. I'm getting out of the playground. Okay. No wasp for me, thank you very much. There was a nest in there, it was really bad. Continuing with my predictions. I say PSG are going to win this match, and it's going to be very, very close. I do think Arsenal have somewhat of a chance, but if Martin Odegaard decides to not drop an egg in a really important match, then maybe Arsenal win, but it's going to be really hard to say because Arsenal are very flip-flop in the Champions League. They can win one match and then lose the next one. I still think PSG are winning. They looked way more superior in that first leg. PSG are going to be the Premier League kryptonite because they've knocked out almost every Premier League team. And I do think PSG wins the second leg of the Champions League to go to the final, where they will play one of Barcelona or Inter Milan. let's get into this one. Barcelona needs to do their business in this leg. It's away, and it's at the San Siro, and it's because they didn't do their business for the previous one, because their defense once again proved that it's not very secure in terms of the offside traps to European teams. They can do it to teams in La Liga, but for teams in Europe, it's much harder. And being completely realistic with you guys, this is going to be a really hard match at the San Siro. Do I see Barcelona going with their big lineup? Of course. I see them bringing out Inigo, Kubarsi. The big problem that we have is Koundé's hurt. And when we have an injury, it's very drastic. You saw what Balde did whenever he was gone. You saw what Lewandowski is doing now. Even though Ferran's had a good job replacing him, I do think we're going to struggle with Koundé off, because Koundé has been a revelation this season. I'd say he's been one of the best right backs on top of the world, of Europe recently, and it's going to be really hard to say whether or not it changes the landscape for Barcelona. I do think it's going to be difficult for Barca. There's a person walking by, so I'll just wait a little bit. Okay, the person's gone. Yeah, this is, like I said before, the injuries aren't going to matter a lot. Koundé being out is such a huge loss to Barcelona, and it's going to be quite hard going up against an Inter team that always does good in Europe. They were in the finals against Manchester City just a few, I think it was in 2023, I think it was 2023. They were in the freaking final against Manchester City and should have won if it wasn't for Lukaku dropping a stinker. But do I see Barcelona winning this match? They're definitely going to switch things up with the defense, because Lamine Yamal terrorized, what was his name? DeMarco, yeah. Lamine terrorized DeMarco, and so they're going to switch him on to, they're probably going to put Bastoni or Acerbi on him. So they're going to make it more difficult for Lamine Yamal to get pretty much past their entire defense, because they took 3 people at one point to try and stop Lamine Yamal, but it didn't work, and he ended up scoring probably one of the best goals in the Champions League. And so, yeah, that's what matters the most, and it's all going to rely on that defensive line, whether or not they can stop Inter's attack. Thuram dissected that Barcelona backline, and I really hope that same thing doesn't happen, because we just conceded the quickest goal in Champions League history, and that is freaking embarrassing. So I really hope that doesn't happen again. For Barcelona, we just need to get that line going the way it's been going in La Liga, because in Europe so far we've been seen having problems with it recently, and I don't want a Champions League final with Inter and Paris Saint-Germain, because Paris will just easily beat Inter Milan because of the amount of front forward line they have. The midfield is definitely going to matter. I'm really happy we got some rest to some of the players at the weekend, because they really needed a break, because you could easily see that how tired they were in the last match against Inter, and we're just gonna have to hope and pray that Barcelona get the job done with their defensive line. It's gonna be quite hard, because Inter do know how to break a defensive line in terms of offsides. We did get them offsides a lot though, and that's what I'm hoping we do in this next one. I'm just gonna touch some grass to make sure we do it. Please, Barca, do it. Please. Chester United are messing me up. They're messing my mind up. I'm in a bad place right now. Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping for Barca. My prediction, I think Barca win this, even though it's at the San Siro, but it's going to be close. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Barca, or a 1-1 and we go to penalties. Barcelona wins. In terms of the goalkeeping position, people are going to call me crazy, but I think we stay with Szczesny. Ter Stegen proved he was wobbly in the last match, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be wobbly in this match, but I'm pretty sure we should stick with Szczesny, because it's been our main goalkeeper for pretty much the entire season. Yeah, so I really hope Barcelona can get this done, because It's going to be close, man. It's going to be really close. I'm going to do Europa League next. Tottenham, Bodo Glimt. That's an easy one. Tottenham are going to win that, and are going to be in a final. Going up against Athletic Bilbao or Manchester United. Well, obviously, I'm going to say Manchester United because they absolutely dissected that Bilbao back line in the first match, and I'm pretty sure they can, unless they don't decapitulate. Hold on, I'm going to have to touch grass again. Don't decapitulate. Don't decapitulate. Hopefully we will continue to win. So it'll be a Premier League final. Manchester United gets Tottenham. Do I have confidence? No. We lost all our games to Tottenham, and it was quite honestly some of the worst defense you've ever seen in a Premier League match at all. And do I feel confident? Nope, not at all. Every time we play Tottenham, we lose. So I really hope the Bodo Glimt pull off one of the biggest upsets in Europa League history, or Manchester United pull off one of the biggest decapitulations in Europa League history. I just hope Manchester United can get the win done and win the Europa League so we can get Champions League next year, because, God, I miss it for Manchester United. I miss seeing them there. Yes, I know I've seen Barcelona there pretty much every single season they've existed, but it does make me feel a bit sad that Manchester United's not there anymore. But anyways, we'll just have to see where that goes. Conference League. I'm going with Chelsea and Real Betis to qualify for that. Betis looked so good in La Liga recently, and Chelsea. But who wins the final? That is going to be an interesting game between Chelsea and Real Betis. Who do I think is going to win? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say Real Betis win the Europa Conference League against Chelsea in the final. My wildest prediction yet. I'm saying it now because Betis have looked better than Chelsea. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going Chelsea. Sorry, guys. I can't make any wild predictions. You know, my prediction streak has been so bad recently, and I want to get them all right. So we'll see how it goes. Barcelona versus Paris in the final. I think Barcelona, because I want Barcelona. But it's going to be close. I honestly won't be surprised if PSG win. But I know it's between PSG and Barca to go to the final. For the Champions League, and for the Europa League, it's Manchester United, Tottenham. I genuinely think Tottenham have a better chance than Manchester United. Although I did see a comment in my last video I did with the UEFA predictions that Manchester United does play a lot better when they're in the Europa League, and that is true. We have played really well in the Europa League, so maybe we can actually do it. Am I going to predict that, though? Yeah. I predict Manchester United will do good in the Europa League and will win. I predict a Barca win in the Champions League, a Manchester United win in the Europa League, and a Chelsea win in the Conference League. They will all win. England will get 7 Champions League spots, European spots, and that'll be all she wrote. I'm just gonna touch grass one more time. Heaven knows what's gonna happen in the next few weeks. I just gotta do a little precautionary measure, you know. I'm touching grass now. Please win, Barcelona. I've gone through so much pain as a Barca fan and a Manchester United fan, but mostly as a Barca fan over the past few years. I've gone through so much pain. But now's the time for all coolers to unite. And it's time for us to win this Champions League by beating Inter and whoever we meet in the final. Yeah, so that's going to be it for me today, guys. I'm just outside relaxing. Now I'm in here. getting some shade because it's about to rain in a few minutes, so might have to go. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.